Greetings everyone. Today I'm going to share a short chapter of my life with you. This is the Draw My Life Flip Edition. So, I was born in Tokyo, Japan, and I moved back and forth between countries. Eventually my parents settled on moving to Canada. Now, Canada was a huge change from both China and Japan, because everything was so much bigger and the people were also very, very different. How? Well, first of all, the language was different. You know, they spoke English while I spoke Japanese and Chinese. I first went to elementary school in the small Greek town of Danforth in Toronto. I was one of the few Asians there. Yes, I'm Asian. And it felt pretty awkward being the yellow person that stood out of the crowd. And much like the stereotypical Asian, I was also very short. On top of that, I knew no English whatsoever, and I basically spoke in Japanese where people would stare at me and, you know, point fingers. Here I'm saying, "Nan desu ka? Nan da yo?" which basically means, "What is it?" And whatever everyone was saying, I repeated it regardless of whatever it was, whether it was good or not. This got me into a lot of trouble, but who could blame me? My classmate would whisper awful things to me about my teacher in my ear, and then I would unknowingly say it out loud in front of the teacher. Haha. Then my teacher began to hate me for the things I said, and I ended up spending the majority of my lunches in detention, eating alone. I remember I used to look outside the window and see all my friends, well, not my friends, see children playing. And there I was, sitting in grief and self-pity. The other kids even started calling me names. I was known as Tattlemouth. And I was also made fun of because, as I said, I was probably an inch smaller than everyone else. I was called short, small, tattlemouth, dumb, loner, loser. Yeah, but the real story actually begins in middle school. That's when things really got bad. So, here's Act 2, the middle school. Moving on, I moved to the downtown core of Toronto, and that's where I entered middle school, which became the most memorable part of my life because it was my living hell. On the first day, I made 2 best friends at my new school. For certain purposes, I'm not going to reveal their true names or identities, so I'm going to call them PB and J. So I hung out with PB and J every day at recess, and life didn't really seem so bad anymore. I learned a lot more English over time, and I was no longer known as Tattlemouth. Of course, I had other friends too, but at the end of the day, I played with PB and J. Back in my apartment building, I met 2 other girls called Yoshi and Devana. We all went to the same school, and I approached them. Yoshi and I instantly clicked like that, and we became like best friends like forever and ever. But that's when Devana started to become jealous, and you know, at the school I saw Devana, she was kind of lonely, and I felt sorry for her, and I decided to let her play with PB, J, and me. PB and J didn't really want Devana to join us, but kind-hearted person I was, I let her create my living hell. Yeah. Devana had other cruel ideas for me, because she was like a sucking vacuum cleaner. She sucked all my friends away from me, leaving me to lose my self-esteem, go home, cry every day. You're probably wondering how this happens. Well, Devana always brought snacks to school. She had parties. She kept a diary where she invited everyone to look at it and, you know, to have snacks and stuff, but me. So basically I was excluded, and I was like the odd man out or something. And eventually, as the typical shy short kid, I went home crying every day. You know, you may think that physical bullying is more hurtful than emotional bullying, but really, any bullying is painful. Anyways, this led to the point where I was afraid and unwilling to go to school, and I thought everyone hated me because, you know, Devana would talk behind my back and whisper evil rumors around. Even PB and J fell into this trap. They no longer talked to me. I tried to make some new friends, but And I tried to tell everyone I wasn't the loser or meanie. I just wanted friends, but they ignored me. So I spent many lunches in the corner, as you can see, crying and, just being alone. It hurt. Anyways, grade 6, my heaven years. This was when everything changed. It changed because of a particular incident. It was gym class and everyone got changed. It was a very, very cold winter day in Toronto. I remember it was like -15 degrees, and after gym class, I came back. I found my jacket, my sweater, like everything soaked in cold, cold water. I literally burst into tears. I didn't know what to do. I eventually went home in a t-shirt that day, freezing cold, freezing with tears rolling down my face. And I thought, enough. This is enough. And I didn't have the courage to speak up, so my parents helped me through this, and we eventually talked to my grade 6 teacher, who was the angel, and that's when it all changed. He peered into my hell. He rescued me from the devil that Devana was, and my angel, with the help of my parents, helped me through these issues and gave consequences to Devana. You're probably wondering what consequences. Well, let's just say there was a lot of suspension. Anyways, from that day on, I got more confident. I believed in myself. I stood up for myself. And I thanked my angel. In grade 7, I was admitted to heaven. I found lots more friends. I had a group of friends that liked me for who I was. I got to stand up for my friends, and my friends would stand up for me, and it was heaven. So I would just like to leave a message for everyone. You should stand up for yourself, and if you want to see change, you have to be the change you want to be. Because if you're unwilling to change, then nothing's going to be solved. So if you're getting bullied right now, please talk to someone. Don't hide it in. It hurts. I know it hurts. But, talk, and people will listen.